Hello all of you knowledge seekers and welcome to Knowledge with Alar. Today we are going to talk about how to start your journey on becoming the master of your own life. In this modern capitalistic world, everything revolves around money. Many of us remember being a child and our parents telling us, no, we don't have enough money for that. But where does this mindset come from? It is impacting our lives way more than our parents could have ever imagined. If we become older and get more money, then it is so simple to just spend it all because now we have money. And the same goes with if we get a raise at our jobs. It would be logical that now we have money to spare, but in actuality, people tend to spend more. They buy a new car, they get a bigger home, they buy more fancy clothes, and doing all that, in the end, you still have no money. So, no matter how much of a raise you get, it doesn't make really a difference for you. Yes, you have a nicer home, nicer car, nicer things, you're living a more expensive life, but still you have no money. You still have to work to pay your bills. But how to reach a level where your life doesn't revolve around money? Money is just an instrument you have to take into the equation when you're figuring out your life. But aim of life is to be happy and to live a fulfilled life. It's really important to find balance in your life. You cannot live in extremes. It's not wise to spend everything, as it's also not wise to save everything. You have to do things in moderation. You have to appreciate life. You have to enjoy everything you do. You have to find value in the things that really matter. When you're young, is it really worth it moving out of your parents' house as soon as possible to get the place of your own, to get a new fancy car, and at an early age start paying rent and everything else? Or would it be smart to live there a bit longer, save up a little money, get a home of your own, get enough money for a down payment on your mortgage? When you are young, it's completely fine to take the bus or ride a bike to work. Even if you're old, you can still take a bike to work. It's good for you. It's good for your health. And it's so much cheaper. You can save up so much money and you can put that money to work for you. The earlier you start saving money, the easier your future is going to be. And the same thing applies to everything in life. Is it smart to spend stupid amounts of money on things you really don't need, just to have more things, just to drink more, to go out more, have parties? Is it really necessary, or could you go by with doing a little bit less of that? The sooner you start learning to live a balanced life, the easier your future will be. And with this being said, I don't mean that you have to save every cent of your income, that you have to live really frugally and doing things that you like. You have to do all of that too, because it's really important to make friends who last you a lifetime and make good memories and do all of that and really enjoy life. But do you really need to do it every single day of your life? Do you have to go out drinking every weekend? Do you really need to buy that many clothes? Do you really need to have the newest model of everything? Or could you go by with having a bit older model? If you try to save too much money, in the end it becomes counterproductive, because when you get demotivated, you simply don't want to save money anymore. You have to do everything modestly and really think things through before you do them, so you can do it for a long time, and that is the key. I believe if you choose the things you spend your money on, you cherish them more. Let's say if you go out every other week and really have fun and really plan ahead what you want to do with that day out, you can enjoy it a lot more. So maybe that's the way to go. Like, just when you go out big, but still be smart about it. And also, do you really need so many new clothes, or can you get by with owning a little bit less clothes and still be as hip as everyone else? I really urge you to think about every purchase like this. Do I need it, or do I just want it because everyone else has it? If you use this mindset, it will really save you some money in the long run, because it skips you from a lot of stupid decisions you do in the stores. This little trick might save you hundreds of dollars if you really master using it in your everyday life. Then what are the first things to start on your journey on a balanced life to become financially independent? Here is a list of things that have helped me to become a more happy and more balanced person and to really enjoy life to the fullest. So, point number 1. A lot of people say that they don't have money to start investing or start saving money. And the point number 1 is really for them. But I really recommend this for everyone, because if you master this point, you can think about money in a whole different way. And the point is to start writing down every cent that you spend. This is a really simple trick. I really urge you to do this at least for a month. So in a month's time, you can see where you spend money. And when you see these sums in the end of the month, you begin to understand what and where you spend too much and what really hurts to look at. If you see that you're spending way too much on eating out or drinking out or whatever it is for you, then you can see that maybe it's a bit too much. Maybe I can cut it down a bit. And by doing this, you're beginning to have a bit of spare money. So maybe you can start saving, and in the long run, you can start investing. When I started doing this, I could have never imagined how much money I spend on entertainment, like eating out, drinking out, going to the movies, all these types of things. It's like crazy amounts of my income went to just entertaining myself. And by the end of the month, I wasn't really happy, because all I could think about is, I don't have any money. How can I get by? And really being worried, and it wasn't fun, And most of the times when I went out to enjoy myself, it was okay, but it wasn't completely necessary. I was just doing that because everyone else was doing it, but it wasn't really a must for me. Now I go out a lot less, and I'm happier even, because I have more time to read, to educate myself, and when I go out, I really enjoy myself, because I feel like I deserve it, that I'm really happy to see everyone, and I have something new to talk about, and it's really worth to limit yourself to things you do, because you will appreciate them so much more. I have been writing down all the things I spend my money on for almost a year now. Now, I don't say that everyone has to do it for as long as I have done it, but it's just, I really like this exercise, because I see if I'm keeping things on track or not, or if I could be spending less on something. And I'm not saying that I live a really frugal life, not at all. If I want to do something, I will do it, and that is completely normal. But just think things through. Be rational about the decisions you make. Doing this, I really feel that I have control over my money. I know exactly what the work that I do does for me by just knowing where the money goes. The first month can be really hard, because sometimes it's really annoying to save up all the receipts and write them down, and late at night and doing all that, but if you keep up with it, it's really good for you. And when I started doing this, I found out some silly things, like I was being cheap about buying good food to eat at home. Like when I went to the store, I didn't want to buy like avocados because I thought they were too expensive. But when I went outside and maybe to a pub or something, I was easily drinking like 3-4 beers, and that was way much more money than a couple of avocados could ever be. And that was like rational in my mind. So by writing down all of these things, I learned to know myself a little better and to really learn by doing this, and to learn to become a better person, basically. And I don't say that you have to do this for the rest of your life. Absolutely not. Just get a feel of it and see where you spend your money. And if you get your money under control, then you can easily stop if you want to. I just like doing it. The point of this exercise is to get a perception of the concept of I don't have any money. And if you write everything down, you can see that it's easy to save 10% of your income. It's especially easy to save money when you are young and you have no responsibilities. You don't have to spend so much when you're young, and you can live maybe with your parents and eat there and whatever, ride a bus. When you have children and you have obligations, it becomes trickier. So the earlier you learn this, the easier it is going to be for you in the future. Now, the second tip I give you is this. Every time you buy something, think about how many hours you have to work to get that item. So let's make a quick example. I'm living in Estonia, so I'm making the example on my case, but you can do this calculation easily wherever you live. So let's say you buy a new iPhone 11. It costs around 800 euros. That's the cheapest model. Usually people want to get a bit fancier one, so it's around 1,000 euros. But for this example, let's take the cheapest one. In Estonia, the average pay is around 7 euros per hour. So for one single phone, you have to work 114 hours. Do you really believe that it is worth 14 days of your life to get the newest phone? I really don't think so, because 14 days is a long time to work for, just to get one phone that you may need to replace in, I don't know, some people replace it every year. It seems unnecessary for me. I can get the same value of my emotion for buying a cheaper phone, because it really doesn't matter for me if I have the newest phone or an older phone. It's just, for me, it makes sense to get an older phone and have more free time, basically, because I don't have to work as much to get it. Really think about these things, like how happy does this purchase makes you? Is it really worth it spending so much time working on getting it? Think about it. So the third thing to get to financial freedom and a happier life is to create a separate bank account for darker days. So let's say times get bad and your car breaks down, or you need a new water heater, or it's really good to have a backup plan, to have some money put away, so you have peace of mind that when something like this happens, you're fine. You have the money and you can just repair it. And the same goes for if you lose your job. You will have a backup money and you can rely on that if times are really bad. So some people say that this sum of money should be like 1 month's salary or 3 months salary or half a year's of salary or even 1 year of salary. It's really individual. For me, because I know every cent of money that I need to basically survive. So if you have, like, let's say 3 times that money, then you're completely fine for 3 months, and you have time to like find a new job or whatever, and you will be, it's a good start anyway. But here's the thing, it could take you years to gather up such a sum of money. If you're able to only save, let's say 20 euros per month, it could take you years and years to gather up this sum of money. So I really believe it is smart to do these things at the same time as investing, because people get bored really easily. So if you're just blindly saving money for years or on end, just so you can start investing in the long run, you might get bored and just back out of it. So I would recommend you to start doing both things at the same time. Create 2 different bank accounts. One is for the darker days and one is for your investments. And all the money you can save, whatever that sum is, split it 50-50. Put 50 into the investing account and 50 into the darker days account, and start doing it like this. So you can start feeling around investments and getting to know the world of investments. So it becomes interesting for you and you don't get bored of just saving money for years on out. And it's really, you have to keep yourself entertained and you have to be persistent. You can't just do it for 1 year and say that's it. You have to do it for the rest of your life if you want to get out of this money cycle. Like I said, it's really important to just be persistent about it. Never quit. There's a nice saying, winners never quit and quitters never win. Simple thought really, isn't it? But yeah, it's true. And the smart thing to do, let's say you can, right now you can save 50 euros per month. Calculate it into a percentage of your income. And now if you get a raise, keep the percentage the same. So the money you're saving increases. Because in the long run, you will earn more money. It's just common sense because of inflation and all that. So if you make more money, you save more money. And then you get the wheel turning and you get more and more money in the long run. Why is it so important to have a darker days fund in a separate bank account? So let's say you lose your job. And usually people lose their jobs when the markets are in the worst situation, when everything is going a bit slower in the economy and everything is turning sour, and now you lose your job. And let's say you have a few hundred or few thousand or whatever put into investments, and now you need that money. But usually when you lose your job because of the markets are low, also the stock markets are low. So if you need to sell at that point, you're really in a tough spot, because the market might be down like 50, maybe even 70%. And if you sell at that time, then you are the loser. It is not a smart thing to do, to sell when the markets are down. In that point, you really have to buy more, because that will bring you really good returns in the long run. Simple as that. You just, when you have a separate bank account for darker days to survive, then you're fine. You can use that instead of your investments, and you will get a new job and life will go on and people will keep on spending money, and you won't even notice it until we have really another boom in our markets. Now, point number 4. Yes, investment and saving and all that is really important. But if you have bad loans, you have credit card debt or something like that, which has an interest of more than like 10 or whatever percentage, it is really smart to pay these off first, because it is really hard to find an investment that has a guaranteed 100% return of 10% or even more. But if you have a credit card debt, that is 100% sure that you have to pay back that 10 or whatever percentage. So by paying it back as soon as possible, that is your return by saving that money, by saving that 10 or whatever 11%. And when you save that money, you have more money in the future. And that's the point of investing, you know. And again, if just paying back your debts seems a bit of boring, then I can completely agree with you. It may take years and years to pay back everything you owe. So again, you can use the same method by maybe even doing 3 different bank accounts. 1 for darker days, 2 for investments, and 3 for paying back your debts. So now you have 3 different accounts. Yes, it will take you 3 times as long to pay everything back, but it will get you started, and you can start learning investments, and you will have some money in a bank account that you can use when something happens, and you don't need to take out new loans on your credit card. And that, if you're persistent, you can really get out of the rat race. And now, point 5, start investing. Seems like an easy thing to do, right? But truth be told, investment is a really personal thing to do. There are so many different types of investments you can do, and all investments have individual risks. There isn't an investment that is risk-free. There just isn't. The more work you are willing to do, the more you will gain in the long run. You can't ever listen to someone who gives you investment advice, because if you do that investment on just because someone told you to do, when things go bad, you don't have anyone else to blame but you. Think about it. It is your money you're putting into the action. If you lose, then you lose. He just might have gave you some advice, but you are the one who loses. It really has to come from within you to buy whatever investment you're buying. Read at least a bit about investments so you know what you're getting into. There are safer investments that gain you a little bit less, and that's fine too, because you don't have to put so much of your time into learning that. And what's bad in that? If you don't want to spend all that time to learn, then yeah, you can do something else with your time, and that's life, you know. Everyone doesn't have to like investing. It takes years and years to really master everything about investing, and even then you're learning something new every day. So yeah, I will not go into depth in this video on what I think about investing or what I do. If you really want that, I can make a separate video about it where I explain what I do and why I do it. But yeah, not in this one, because we would be here for hours if we would start that. But yeah, before we go on, I can shortly say this. Before you start investing, think about one simple thing. What are you investing for? What is your time horizon? Are you saving for retirement? Are you saving to buy a new house in 5 years? Or whatever. Think about the time horizon. If you're investing for 30, 35 years, then you can risk a lot more, because the time is so much longer and you have time to recover. If you're investing for 5 years, you can't take as big of a risk, because you might need that money in 5 years. And 5 years is a really, really short time when it comes to investing. Keep that in mind. And now, point number 6. To come back to this, why are you saving? Some people think that like saving and investing is only for retirement. That couldn't be further from the truth. If you want to travel more, if you want a new car, preferably not on mortgage, but you pay for it. And if you want a boat, or if you want a bigger house, or whatever, if you want to retire, what's wrong with that? Then you really have to think about the goal. Then you can set the time limit. And if you have thought everything through, then you have a goal. And if you really have a goal in life and you set your mind to it, then you will definitely reach it. Because if you put your energy into something, really wholeheartedly you put your energies to something, it becomes so definite, and you're really thinking about it all the time, that why you are doing this and what you want to accomplish. So that will drive you forward, and you can't get bored of it, because that is your main drive in life. Like, I have to get this goal. That is who I am. I have to get a new boat or a new car or whatever, and you work towards that goal. And if you think like this, then you cannot possibly fail, because winners never quit. As simple as that. And when you have a goal in life, it is yours and yours alone. Okay, maybe your family as well, but you get the picture. No one else can say that you are stupid, because the goal is yours. And you have to accept that. And then if you're keeping a budget to achieve that goal, then that is completely fine. And if you can accept it, you can follow it every day, whole day. And no one can decide these things for you. It's the same with everything. You can't say to a smoker that, oh, quit smoking. Why not? They have to reach that decision themselves. Because if you have a definite desire to do something, you will definitely reach it if you follow through on it every single day of your life. It has to be really like, the idea has to be bugging you day and night, that I have to reach this goal, I have to reach this goal, I have to reach this goal. It might seem a bit compulsive or whatever, but it's not like that. It's just a thing you do. It's part of you. It's not like you're going crazy and not doing anything else in life. It's just one part of it. Point number 7, purposeful living. What a magical thing it is. If you have found a purpose in life, then life becomes so much more enjoyable and fun to live it. I cannot emphasize enough about how important it is to set goals to your life. If you set a goal, it can be small or big, whatever, it is your goal. But if you achieve that goal, you can feel so happy about it. You can feel proud of yourself by achieving those goals. When you achieve a goal, you can set yourself another goal, and your life will become so much more interesting, because you're having these different goals in life that you're trying to achieve. It's wonderful if you achieve them, you know. It brings so much happiness to life. These types of goals, they can revolve around money, but they don't have to. It can be whatever. If you wanna eat healthier, or be fit, or be rich, or be famous, whatever. It's just, if you have a big goal, set some smaller middle goals and that are easier to achieve, so you can feel better quickly. If you're just setting these step-by-step things to reach to your big goal, then that's wonderful. Enjoy it. And the thing is, if you fail, what does that even mean? From every failure, you can learn something. And a failure is not a failure until you accept that you have failed. If you fail something and you learn from it and you try again, then you really haven't failed. You can learn from everything in life, be it good or bad. It is important to fully take in everything you have learned from every situation and embrace it. Point number 8. If you have some money saved up, you never know when opportunity comes knocking on your door. It might be difficult to think about it because you're not maybe there yet, but if you have some spare money and someone comes to you with a great idea and you're like, let's do it, I have some money, let's start it. Be prepared to grab it by the horns and just go with it. It might give you so much, some new knowledge, some new experience, maybe more money, whatever you desire, just go with it. The most magical thing about changing your mindset about money is you will find there is so much money out there. You will find so many ways of making money that is just crazy. At that point you will be like, why didn't I do this before? It's so easy. And yeah, it's just going for it and seeking those opportunities and grabbing it by the horns and just living your life to the fullest. And if you're understanding money a bit better and you understand compound interest, you can put money to work for you. There's a really nice quote from Albert Einstein. The compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. It's as simple as that, because if you put money to work for you, life becomes interesting, let's say it like this. And the last point number 9, earning some extra money. So let's say you work full-time somewhere and you decide that you need some more money. It's completely fine to take another job, get some extra money. But if you are working extra shifts or whatever and you spend that money on things that you really don't need, then you're just wasting your life. But if you're working to achieve a goal that you have in mind, you need a little bit extra money to achieve it faster, then that is completely fine. If you're young and healthy and you want to work a bit harder to have easier life later, that is completely fine. But just be rational about it. Is it worth spending your free time on doing work that you probably don't like, to buy clothes or phones or things that are going to break in 1 year and you won't even remember that item in 10 years? I think not. So be smart about what you do with your time. You can probably do a lot smarter things with your time than just work for something. Now this is the only time in my life I will say YOLO. You only live once. And that is true in this case. You only live once, so think about what you're doing with it. Do you really want to work and work and work your whole life and have nothing to show for it? Or do you want to really create something of yourself so that you don't have to work so much in the future and really to enjoy life while doing it and not just letting life slip by when you're just working? Think about it. So that is my short take on living a balanced life and living a fulfilled life. And if you have a definite purpose in life and you set your mind to it, you can achieve anything. Of course, it takes some extra effort to do these things, but it will be worth it if you really want to achieve those goals. If you want to take control of your life, then just do it. The only thing that a man has control over in his life is his thoughts. It's your mind. It's the only thing you can control. So start controlling it. Start thinking about what you do and why you do it. If you set your mind to something and you really want it, you can achieve it. I will leave it at that. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, leave me a comment down below. Leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I will do more videos like this and I will start doing book reviews again. I was really busy with my bachelor's thesis, and it really stole all my free time for the time being. But I like doing these videos, and I will start doing them more and more again. And let's see you in the next one. Bye.